All right, guys, I'm joined today by No Way Jose. Jose Johnson over here will be competing on Dana White Contender Series on September 1st. How you doing, Jose?
I'm pretty good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the time. So where were you when you got the call? Take me through the emotions of getting that call. How did you find out? Just take me through that.
I was actually getting pumped when I got the call. I was at practice, and we were doing like a little tight tech sparring, and my manager hit me up and was like, "Hey, get ready. The opportunity that we knew was coming is here. It's time." And I had been preparing, so I was already ready.
And part of being already ready is, you had a viral first round elbow knockout at LFA 78. Did you expect that to go viral? And also, did you expect that to bring on the UFC and Dana White Contender Series?
I honestly didn't expect my man to even get up. so that was that's probably one of the most terrifying situations I've been in as far as like fighting goes.
Mhm.
Uh, I never seen someone drop like that. So thank God he's good, he's
Yeah.
okay. But I knew it was gonna go viral after when I saw it happen. I was like, I went to go jump on top of the cage. As soon as I was on top of the cage, I looked out at the crowd and I was like, this is gonna be on ESPN.
Mhm.
This is gonna go crazy. I knew
Even
it.
more than that.
Yeah, a little more than that, but I just knew it. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
this one's
and,
gonna
and
be
even in the
amazing.
commentating team, I remember one commentator is kind of like psyched about the knockout, and the other one's kind of like you said is like worried about the opponent, like that was bad. So
Yeah,
when you went to fight on LFA, a lot of people, I just talked to Vinny DeJesus, who's fighting at LFA 88, and they want to make a statement because LFA is a feeding ground for the UFC. So when
yes,
when
sir.
you got that knockout, you walked in wanting a statement. You made that statement, and now here you are in Contender Series. Is this all going according to plan?
Definitely going according to plan. So I knew after my last loss, which was at LFA
Mm-hmm.
against Armando, and I knew after that loss, I was like, I gotta do something. It was a great fight. It was very back and forth, and it was a decision win that he got over me. I showed a lot of my ground game, which is something that a lot of people don't really get to see a lot with me fighting. And at that time, it just clicked in my head, and I was like, I'm just gonna start freaking killing guys. And then my next 5 fights were all by murders,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
And I just knew that did it for me. I knew when I got the call to fight for LFA, it was on a week's notice, and they're like, "Well, this guy is here from Brazil. He's 11-2, tough dude. He's cousins of Charles Oliveira in the UFC."
Mhm.
I was like, "Let's run it!" Like,
Yeah.
there's no question about it.
Didn't matter.
I know what this win will do for me, and I know where my head is at. So when I took that fight, I already knew that it was setting everything up, and I was like, "Man, this is a blessing. I thank God for this opportunity. I get to fight in front of my my hometown fans, and
Yep.
then I get to fight a tough guy that's gonna give me recognition because I know I'm gonna knock this dude out."
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Did more than that. And so you got a teammate, Jonathan Patti, competing a week before you, right? Correct?
Actually, it's crazy. Jonathan Pati is my cousin.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. I
uh,
actually interviewed Jonathan a couple weeks ago. He just said teammate. He didn't even say cousin.
Yeah, so well, we're cousins by marriage. I'm
Okay.
actually married to his cousin. So and yeah, he's my teammate, and we coming, man. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people are just now hearing about us, but we've been working hard in silence for a long time now.
Yeah, and how special is that to kind of have that relationship with a teammate and a cousin that you're both going to compete for this dream? Most fighters they don't have a teammate that's competing on Contender Series with them, the following week. How special is that?
Man, it's awesome. So here's the cool thing. So me and Jonathan have been doing like fights alongside each other for a long time. Every time we fight on the same card or along the same time frame as each other, we both feed off each other's like
Mhm.
fight night energy and the emotions of camp and cutting weight. And I think that's really made me and him close as outside of fighting,
Mhm.
right? Super close. So like it's amazing, brother. It's amazing, especially to be from a small gym and you have two fighters, two totally
Yep.
different weight classes, fighting week after week with each
Yep.
other. It's an awesome energy to have in the gym.
Yeah, and that was my next question. Is, I mean, speak on your gym. You know, you've got a smaller gym, and you've got two guys that are now looking to sign to the UFC with a huge win at Contender Series. I mean, that says something about your gym.
Exactly, man. Hard work. That's all it is. It's hard work. As we say every time we come into the gym, it's blunt force trauma, and that's all we bring in. And when you have really hardworking and dedicated coaches that back you, um, anything's possible.
And so, I mean, speak on Ronnie Lawrence. I mean, he has, I believe it's 3 or 4 of his TK wins are by TKO. He's 5-1. I mean, just speak. What do you expect him to bring, and how are you going to stop that?
I definitely think that the size will be a problem for him. His only loss was to a guy who was the same height as me.
Mm-hmm.
Not in my opinion, not as good of a striker. Just very elusive, moves a lot, and he struggled with him. He struggled with Stevie Garcia, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
He struggled with that guy, and I'm not taking anything away from Ronnie. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the opportunity against him. He's here for a reason as well. I just know that you don't work as hard as I do, and I know you don't want it as bad as I do.
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, you actually had an 0-2 career start and a 6-5 career start. You know, much different than what we see on Contender Series sometimes with 13-1, whatever. Only a few losses. So to get from 0-2 to getting a shot on Contender Series, I mean, what was the turning point for you?
The turning point, honestly, man, the turning point I would say would have to be, like I said, that last loss against Armando. That did it for me. Before that loss, I was always coming to a fight thinking that I had to be a showman.
Mm-hmm.
I have to show these people that I can do everything. I have to engage with grappling matches with these guys to prove that I'm a grappler. When in all actuality, that was for a long time the lesser of my strengths.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I literally have focused hard on that, and it's helped me a lot. Now all I think of is just finishing. I had that 0-2 start that hurt, man. That hurt, especially coming off of the amateur career that I had. I went viral because I kicked some dude's eye out. So I had like a really high. People had really high expectations for me as far as like coming into the pros, and then boom, taking 2 stupid fights back to back, and losing both of those. Man, it sucked. It sucked.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
And honestly, I appreciate all the losses that I've had because it made me the fighter I am today. It was nothing but experience.
And that was what I was going to ask is, a lot of fighters say, especially early losses in their career, they wouldn't change them, that they learned more from those losses than some of their early wins. I mean, speak on that.
I definitely learned more from my losses than my wins because honestly, a lot of my losses have been from, either like a rear naked choke. Now I defend rear naked chokes like a maniac.
In your
I'm
sleep.
terrified. I'm terrified. Yeah, I go to sleep with 2 hands on one.
Don't put up the neck.
I'm making sure I'm always ready.
Yeah.
That, and I've already proven that I can go 3-5 rounds. I don't need to do any of that, man. I have all the tools to finish the fight in the first round. I know I have the cardio to go all 5 or all 3 rounds. Why not do it?
And so we're 2 weeks in. This is going to be the 3rd week of Contender Series. And, week 1, Dana White hands out 3 contracts. Week 2, Dana White hands out 5 contracts. I mean, as someone who will be competing in a couple weeks, how exciting is it to see that Dana White's in a very good mood this summer?
Well, honestly, it's gonna be a little harder for me. So the 135 division is pretty freaking stacked in the UFC.
Yep. I'd say you got arguably the best in the UFC right now.
So I'm coming into this fight thinking that he hasn't been giving anyone contracts. I'm literally saying that to myself every day. I'm not thinking about contracts that anybody else has gotten. Those people aren't me. I'm focusing on my fight. I'm gonna fight this fight like how I should fight this fight. I'm gonna finish this fight, and then I know I'm gonna get that contract.
And our nerves a factor. I asked Jonathan this too. Is you're fighting for your dream. This is one fight that you win it, you finish him, you could get a contract and fight in the UFC. He said nerves are going to be a factor, but once you get in the cage, it doesn't matter. Do you feel the same way?
So here's the thing about me as far as my career went. As an amateur, I went 68-12. That's a lot of fights.
That's a lot of fights.
I've felt, I've been through everything that you can possibly think of. There's nothing that Ronnie Lawrence can show me that I've never seen before, almost 100 times. Absolutely nothing. Yep. The only thing that makes me nervous, is that this could be a good or a bad thing that helps support my family. Yep. My family means everything to me, so this helps put me closer to providing and helping bettering my family. That's the only thing where nerves are kicking in. As far as like being in the cage and fighting in front of Dana White,
that's
no
all fun.
To Dana, bro, you just there.
Mm-hmm.
You there. You watching me.
Yep.
So
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's just work.
Yeah. So tell fans that may not know your name yet, tell them about yourself. What got you into mixed martial arts?
Man, I got beat up really bad in school one time by a bunch of Mexican dudes. I got jumped. I was talking to this chick who apparently was talking to this one guy who did not know. I was really excited. Just got to high school. It was really I was really happy that you got like off-campus luncheon. So I remember walking to Bush's Chicken. For my Texas people, they know what Bush's Chicken is. But I was walking to Bush's Chicken, and all I heard was like a bunch of footsteps and fist black, and then woke up to a whole bunch of Cortezes just stomping on me, just getting beat up, man. And I got up and I walked to Bush's and tried to order my food, and the lady called the ambulance and the cops immediately because I guess my nose was like way over here and I was all bloody. I didn't even know. I didn't even feel it. At that point, I was like, man, I need to learn some stuff. I need to start. So I went to actually ended up moving back to Michigan, and then I started at a gym called Flint Town Fight Club. Is where I first started, and 6 months into training, I had my first fight with a grown ass man. He had like 4 kids already. He's like 37. I was like 17. This man beat me up for 3 rounds, and I loved it. So I was like, so I kept doing it, kept coming back, and 100 fights later, I'm here and about to be in the UFC.
Yeah, man. And so my last question for you is, do you got a prediction for us? What can we expect? You've already had the viral elbow. Do we see that again? Do we see something else go viral? What can you tell us?
You definitely will see a highlight reel finish first round.
All right. Awesome, man. Well, Jose, I'm thanking you for the time. I'm wishing you the best. And, I hope you get that contract and we can do this again, man.
Thank you, brother, so much.